morning. Welcome to Tanner's Garage. That's what we're going to call this channel now. So, anyway, moving on. Today we're going to be doing a professional club fitting. Professional for my wife, who's getting into golf. That's great because now I get to golf with her, which I'm going to enjoy. And two, I get to golf more. So, very happy with how this is going. But anyway, we're going to size these clubs for her today and re-grip them. So what we've got here are some Dunlop clubs that I found on Marketplace. We actually got all the clubs and the bag for $30. They're pretty solid clubs. Dunlop obviously, so name brand. They're older cavity backs, so they should be easier to hit. They're not blades. They're obviously older, so they're not going to be as easy. But as you can see here, got some pretty old beat up Dunlop grips. They're not in terrible condition, but they're old. They don't feel great. So we're going to get everything re-gripped. Also came with a pretty nice Tour Dunlop sand wedge. The putter is actually somebody's putter. It's got a name, Judy Rankin. Played for Northwestern maybe. It's already got a nice grip on it, and it's a woman. Like it's already sized down for a woman, so it kind of works perfect for her. So that's not getting re-gripped. But then it also came with Dunlop graphite shaft driver and 3 and 5 wood. So technically this is a 1 wood, but it'll be her driver. So yeah, solid little group of clubs here. So we're gonna get to re-gripping all of these. Yeah, let's get right into it. Alrighty, so what we will need for this project will be your golf grips, obviously. It's probably the most important. We have 13 of them today. 12 of her clubs are getting redone, and then we're going to do one of mine, which has an arthritis grip on it that was passed down from my grandpa, and I just can't hold that really well, so we're going to switch it out for a normal grip. It's not going to match the rest of my grips, but it's okay. You're going to need some grip tape, some grip solvent. You can really use anything here, or any kind of solvent here. You can even use gasoline if you wanted to. The solvent just came with the kit. That's what we're going to use. It's only 5 ounces. We'll see if we can get through all 13 clubs with that. If not, I've got gasoline or honestly even some carb cleaner that might work. Really just anything that's going to eliminate the stickiness of the double-sided tape and also dry quickly. We're going to be using this along with this handy little, I actually forgot what this is called. I don't have a vise. Typically you would use a vise and just put this in the vise, but I don't have that today. But I tested this out yesterday and it's actually going to work really well. This is mounted to the table, so it's not going to slide. And then we've got this little utility blade thing that's actually specifically designed for taking golf clubs off, so it's not going to autofocus because it's on manual right now. But it's a little hook. It kind of goes in. You just tear it across. You can also use a utility blade if you want, if you don't have any of this stuff. But you definitely need the grips and need the tape. Everything else you can kind of find other remedies for, but those are the important parts. So let's get to it. All right, now the camera angle, it's right now on top of my grill, and then on top of a firewood box, and then on top of the little camera tripod stand I got, because this lens does not go back as far as I need to do videos like this. So I may have to get a new lens in the future, but it works. It might crop off most of my head at this point. But anyway, we're gonna get into this. We've got all the tools we need. But to start out, we are going to, I'll put these here. We gotta get all the grips off. So that'll be the first thing. So we are gonna start with these irons here. And I am just gonna rip all these grips off with that utility blade that they gave us. I bought all this stuff in a kit on Amazon. The kit was like $10. It was super cheap. Now they misadvertised. This roll of tape was supposed to be double the width, but whatever. We'll make it work. We'll just have to do 2 sticks on it. So let's start with the stand wedge here. So basically, we're just going to take this, kind of get that blade in there, and then it just cuts right through. Where did I put that? Do it again. Obviously, don't cut yourself. I'm going to cut away from myself here at the end. Oh my goodness, these grips are so old. They are like just piecing themselves apart. kind of are falling apart. We'll have to get the rest of these little pieces off that are kind of stuck to it. The tape only goes down like halfway that grip, so that's kind of weird. But we'll get the tape off, and I'll probably use. I'm not too worried about scratching up a steel shaft here. We are putting. This is a blade. We are obviously putting a grip back over all this, so I'm not really too worried about being nice to it. So, take this tape off like this. Most of it. So as you can see, this is probably going to be a little messy, just with all the sticky tape and all the old stuff, or all the old grips. If you're just re-gripping your clubs that are re-gripped every year, which you're technically supposed to, I probably don't play enough golf at this point to re-grip mine every year. I got new grips about 2 years ago when I got my clubs resized. I haven't changed them since, but honestly they're probably fine. Alrighty. What I'm probably going to do is get a little rag with some sort of aerosol spray, maybe even the carb cleaner, and just wipe these down a little bit. To make them a little more clean. There we go. There's our gripless sand wedge. So what I don't think I talked about in the beginning, we will be resizing this. So all of these clubs are men's standard. That's really all I could find on Marketplace. There's really not a lot of women's clubs there. So immediately women's clubs, and here's a little chart that I've got from GolfWorks that shows just standard length for men's and for women's. So the women's are all 1 inch shorter than men's. So that's just their standard. And because of Maylee's height and because of her wrist to floor measurement, which is from right at the break in the wrist to the floor, she actually has 1 inch off of female standards. So we're going to be taking 2 inches off of every club. So we're just going to kind of clamp these in here. This is miter saw, by the way. Remember now, it's like a just manual miter saw. Oh, miter box, that's what it is. But yeah, we're going to mount this in there. We're going to take 2 inches off, probably just with a Sawzall. I don't have any kind of like professional club cutting tool. I'm sure there is one that spins around on it and makes a nice clean cut, but we're going to make as clean a cut as possible with the Sawzall. So that's that. I'm going to go get a rag. We're going to clean this up, and then I'm going to do the rest of it. Alright, so the carb cleaner works pretty well to get that off. At least a little bit. It's still sticky, but most of the residue is off, and that's kind of all we need. So yeah, I'm probably going to time lapse this next part, or maybe not even record it, but we're going to take grips off of the rest of her clubs. And actually, before I keep going, I'm going to get some before videos, because I didn't even think of that. So, from doing this now, I've done this once with the utility blade. This works wonders. Highly recommend if you're going to do this to your clubs, definitely get that kit, or just buy that piece. I'm sure it's a couple bucks. I mean, it's the cheapest little plastic knife I've ever seen. But having that little hook to like get in there and just drag it down it makes this job so easy. Cool. So at this point, all of the irons are done. As you see over here, we're going to do these 3 real quick. So these are graphite shafts. These actually have a little bit better So the graphite shafts, I think you have to be a little more careful. I've been told to like kind of cut and then peel back, but at the same time, I'm not like too worried because I'm cutting a couple inches off, and then regripping. So I feel like it should be fine. So I'm not going to do that. Let's see how this turns out. Already there. Up the shaft at all. So I would say you're fine to just cut like normal. So sticky. I do not enjoy this part. I'm going to enjoy putting them on way more than taking them off. I'm slowly remembering back to when my grandpa and I did my gloves a couple years ago. Yeah, but taking it off is not fun. I might just leave some of this on there because that is baked cake out of that shaft, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it off. So we are probably just going to leave it. I'm going to spray the card cleaner. Give it a wipe down just to get the stickiness off. Alright, driver down. Let's do the 3 wood. Done. Alrighty, so we've got all of the clubs done at this point. So we are going to now start the cutting process. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is just get all these out, measure them 2 inches off, and make a mark. And then we'll start the cutting process. It may not be exactly 2 inches because obviously a wooden ruler, but the important part with this is everything is done the same. So we're just going to make it flat there. Make a mark right at 2 inches. I will catch back up with you guys when all these are done. So I don't think I mentioned this or spoke about it at the beginning of the video, but we got this nice desk now here. I found this for $20 on Facebook Marketplace. It's an old conference room table, but I needed something in the garage to kind of just organize all the tools and stuff. So we've got stuff under. I'm going to put 2x12s on these bases here to kind of get stuff off the ground at some point in time. But yeah, that is the highlight, which is kind of why we're going to rename this channel, maybe Tanner's Garage, something like that, and just kind of keep you up to date with house projects going on, just fun stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, we got the saws all back in action. The same blade we used in the last video. We will see if that gets us through all the clubs. I've never done the cutting of the clubs with the sawzall before. Basically what we're going to do. And I actually didn't even think through that too much. I think I'll just cut it on here. Well, actually no, it's going to be perfect like that because that leaves it face up. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this, and we'll do the same thing when we actually put the grips on, is I'm going to put this little thing that came in with it, it's rubber, basically allows it, I mean it won't budge on there. So I'm gonna put it right on here, and then I'm gonna shove this up against it, nice and tight, and just kind of crank this down a little bit. And that prevents this, I mean, that club won't move out of there. So I'm gonna move out this little fire pit thing, and we are gonna get to cutting. I'm probably gonna lay down some paper. Spiders, awesome. We're having a little bit of a, not a spider issue, but lots of spiders, lots of things that I don't enjoy. Crickets, bugs, really anything. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully that will collect most of the little metal pieces. But anyway, let's get to cutting. I'll keep you guys on this one. I don't even know if you can see this far over. But we're going to see how this works here. Squeeze that one in there. Kind of keep this. Keep it from moving. Yeah, that's going to work real nice. I'm going to get gloves because I foresee this getting hot. Well, if I was hardly organized and didn't just tear all of this stuff out looking for that blade, it's gonna be a little faster. Anyway, let's try this again. You guys won't be watching all this. I feel this will take a minute. Just in case this gets hot. Alright, so it worked. Not too shabby, obviously shakes the crap out of this table. We've got our 2 inches off. Shakes my hands up pretty good. Yeah, it's exactly 2 inches. So that's perfect. Yeah, anyway, I will get back to you once all of these are cut, because this is going to be a tedious project. Alright, I'm back. They are not all done. Let me throw my keys. I actually just got back from Lowe's. The blade that I was using was getting pretty dull, and it was just really kind of difficult to cut through. So I was gonna go get a different blade. That one's dead. Gonna get a new blade, but then I saw some cheapo little pipe cutters. This one was $12 from Cobalt. I got a little bit bigger, that way I can use it for other stuff in the future. But this is probably the right tool for the job. What I found when cutting clubs, well, it worked fine, and it did cut it. Obviously I had a metal blade for it. The cuts weren't like perfectly straight. That's not going to make a huge difference, I don't think, because it was just very slightly angled at the top. The grip's going to take all that away, so it really doesn't matter. But this is going to make a perfect cut. It's also going to be less. I mean, that was brutal. I mean, I cut 5 of those steel shafts in my hand. I mean, it was shaking. It was not fun. So I got the pipe cutter, and this thing is just like the perfect size. So I'm very excited for this. But we're going to do one together, and then I'll do the rest just to make sure that it works. Now it is kind of annoying because I can't hold it now. Well, actually, I'm still going to mount it in here. Why not? So, bang, bang. I don't know if you can see too far over here, but this up the middle, crank it down, start cutting. So I like this better, just because it's not the power tool. Using that power tool, actually, I just cut my hand open on the end of this, so gotta be careful about that. The power tool just was not fun. It took a long time. Well, it is windy. I actually wonder if I can just do this. Oh yeah, let's just do that instead. So I'm gonna hold this and just kind of spin the club. But with these pipe cutters, got myself good. With the pipe cutters, they'll sometimes not be perfectly straight, so then it will just like basically thread it. So we just want to make sure that instead of that's like a straight cut. And then basically every couple cranks, you just tighten up that blade, and then keep on cutting. And it's making a nice straight cut. I was thinking about redoing the spot that I did. So boom, just like that. I mean, that was so easy. Makes a nice straight cut. I don't know if you could see there. That is really what it should do. I actually, based off of how easy that was, I may redo. Oh, was I even recording? I was recording. Cool. I may redo. Frick, that hurts. I may redo the rest of her gloves. So, but anyway, let's get to it. All right, all of the clubs are cut at this point. I wish I had gotten a video of me doing one of the graphite clubs, or one of the steel clubs at the end. I found a much better way to do it. Basically, you clamp this on real tight, and literally it's like 5 cranks around. You just crank the head of the club while holding this still. Like literally 5 cranks and it falls off. It was remarkably fast, probably like 10 seconds for each club. Way faster than the blade. I highly recommend if you're gonna do this, go to Lowe's or Home Depot, get one of these. It will make this job 10 times easier. So, I will resolve clean that up. So we've got our graphite shafts, which I'm gonna sand down a little bit. It cut it also just as easy. So these are gonna be perfect for her. So I took 2 1/4 off the driver and the woods and stuff, just because they were long even for me. So I don't know what size they were, but everything else is cut. So here is the fun part. So I just want to make sure that you guys can see. Yeah, and you can, so that's perfect. So we are going to start with the sandwich, just because it's nice and easy. So basically when you're looking down, it's going to be just like that. So I'm going to put it in here, just like that. So I'm just going to clamp this in here. And then I'm going to make it so this is pointing straight up. So I've got my line down here. That way when I put my grip on, it's actually like I can put it on straight looking down. That way it's on with the club. I just want to make sure that I've got enough length here to put it on, which I do. It'll get right up to there. So these grips, some of the grips it's not as important for that, but these grips have this little thumb thing, which is kind of supposed to where you put your thumb. It's not perfect, but it'll help her kind of get a gauge, just to kind of help with that. So what we are going to do is, one, I'm going to go get a towel, because I'm going to be dumping some fluid on the floor. I just would rather catch it in a towel than just sit on the floor. Not that it's going to fall right away. now let's get into it. So because they sent me this tape that's like half the size of what it should be, I kind of have to put 2 pieces of tape on, so it'll take a little longer. And I opted, most times you can get these kits, even this one, you can get it with 13 pre-cut tape. I chose not to do that just because as I try to get this tape open here. I chose not to do that because they were charging like $10 for just the tape when the tape came in the kit for $10. So here we go. Holy moly. But yeah, you can absolutely get it with that. So basically what we're going to do is kind of measure that out. I'm going to do it right to about there. I'm not going to do it all the way to the end of the club. There. See how well that rips just fine. So then I'm going to get another piece that's the same length. And I'm going to kind of go just on the bottom of it. Kind of rub it flat. So this is double-sided tape here. So I'm going to spin this around here like that, kind of get it on the club. And then I'm going to take the top of this tape off. Having fingernails would really help, but unfortunately I don't have those, so I'll kind of peel that off. This tape is not the greatest. You can definitely get better tape than what I have here. So, again, just kind of fold it around. Any extra you have at the end, just kind of twist it. Go ahead and just shove it in the end of the club. Peel that other thing of double-sided tape off. Throw that away. So, here we got this. Alright, so this is, it's not like stressful part, I wouldn't stress out about it, but it does need to be done quickly. So basically what you're doing here, it's super windy, I hope you guys can hear me alright. Oh, this leaked, it's everywhere. Basically what this does is you gotta get this over top of this tape here, but obviously it's not gonna go on because this is sticky and you need something to stick it. So we're gonna put this grip dissolvent in here, shake it around all up in here, then I'm gonna pour it out over top of this, and then as soon as that's done, I'm gonna kind of get it on and shove it all the way on. Make sure it's straight because that solvent will evaporate and it'll dry, and then it will stick, and then you won't be able to move it. So it's kind of, it has to be done with a little bit of a. So see if that just. Yeah, I figured it probably had something there. Go ahead. Use this little blade for everything. This is awesome. And actually, the more I look at it, 5 ounces is honestly probably going to be just fine. So, alright, I'm going to plug this hole here. Squeeze a little bit in there. I'm going to shake this around. Really coat it all in there. And then I'll do it this way so you can see it. Just kind of let it go, kind of all over there. I'm just gonna get this around here. And then just shove it down, tie it away, and then kind of look it down. Make sure it's lined up straight, and I think it is. So then I'm gonna just clean my hands of the solvent. Because it is like slippery, nothing's gonna stick. So I'm just gonna kind of rub the grip down a little bit. Make sure it stays there. And there you go, that is one grip on. Just make sure that is still straight as it starts to dry in there. And then what we'll do is, man, geez, I cranked that down tight. So the reason you want it in a vise or something tight is so when I'm pushing on this to get it up there, sometimes it can be a little tough to get it all the way. You just want something that's not going to move. And then just kind of hit it a couple times. Make sure it's solid. Give it the good old look-sees real quick. I'd say that looks pretty good. So there's our finished club there. Looks nice and sharp. There's our grip. So obviously we cut these men's shafts pretty short, so it's kind of covering that sticker a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't do that on every single one. Dry that off a little bit more, because it's honestly that solvent is everywhere. So yeah, but there is one finished club. I'm gonna go put this out in the sun. Truck that's out there right now. So yeah, we are gonna just do that on every single one here. Okay, so you need a little bit more than just one squirt. That was really tough there at the beginning. So I'll line these up here. And honestly, this all looks really well lined up. Yeah, I don't really need to make any changes with that one. So I did a better job of not getting it on my hands, but I did run out. I put most of it up here at the front, and then it kind of didn't get much in the back. So putting it on at first was tough, and then it kind of got easier as we went forward. So if you do just do the one squirt of that grip solvent, I would recommend just that. Nice. It's perfect. Sweet. Go put this in the sun again. All right, that is 3 down. Got 8 to go. Technically, or no, 9 to go. All right, so the irons are all done at this point. So we're gonna do these last 3 woods, and then we'll be good. And we're done. We'll see the finished product. So I want to do one graphite shaft just in case it's different. I don't think it's going to be any different, but in case it is, and we are a little less than half, so it's good. There was more than enough, not more than enough there, but a good amount there. So we will that looks excellent. It's perfect. I mean, that looks so sharp. Very happy with how that turned out. Alrighty, well, let me finish up these last 2 clubs. Let's check them out. Alright guys, we are all finished up. Let's take a look. These clubs turned out absolutely amazing. Everything turned out straight, easier than I expected. Everything went perfectly as planned. I absolutely love when a project does that. It's not often that you get into a project and everything just goes super smooth. But honestly, like, these looked great. I was really happy with everything went. So yeah, if you liked the video, definitely leave a like. Feel free to subscribe. I'm gonna try and post more content, just kind of doing stuff, maybe even some golf content. That would be fun. And if you want your clubs resized or regripped, just let me know and we can make it happen. But yeah, super pleased with the grips. I mean, they feel great. They were $19 for 13 of them on Amazon. I mean, super cheap. They've got nice little like thumb liner arrows, like really friendly for beginners. I think they're gonna work absolutely great. All the tools worked well. The little kit worked great. And I've still got, let's see it in the light, got about this much left of the grip solvent. So went through a solid 3/4 of it, maybe even a little bit more. And it worked for all 13 clubs. So I think it really was perfect. Still got a bunch of grip tape left. Obviously it's kind of annoying that was half the size, but it worked well. So if you guys enjoyed this video, again, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.